Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Y'all, I gotta break this down. I saw one of the realest videos I've seen since I've been home. My spirit's been down. I've been watching all this with Pooh, shiesty, Gucci, man. It hurts me to my stomach. Let me say that. And I don't want nobody to feel like I'm picking Pooh Shiesty's side because I seen the comments and the way y'all look at it. I just break down both sides so you understand. I've been there and done that. Y'all ain't been there and y'all ain't done that. So y'all don't understand how serious this is. What went on is Gucci Man projected an image to the world and to Pooh Shiesty that he was a gangster. And that if anything happened, he would keep it in a gangster level. So anything Pooh Shiesty do to Gucci Man is done on a gangster level, and Pooh Shiesty is thinking that Gucci Man is gonna keep it on a gangster level. I'm hot, I'm heated. I ain't been on here in about 5 days because I'm tired of this. These fake YouTubers that ain't never been there talking stupid. You're talking stupid. Stop disrespecting Pooh Shiesty. Gucci Man had a right to go to the police as long as Gucci Man step up right now and say, yo, this is what it is. I done made my money. I got out the hood. I ain't got nothing to do with that foolishness. A man put a gun in my face. I pay my taxes. I'm going to the police. That's exactly what Pooh Shiesty did. So Gucci Man had a right to go to the police. But Gucci Man is still on the YouTube saying, I'm a gangster. If they pull up, I'm going to da-da-da-da-da. And I know it's old tape, so you rat bastards that try and defend this foolery, stop it, man. Let's get down to the real. This is shaping our cultural history. You got these CEOs and record labels, they want to make the bag, so they go down in the trenches and they go get a Pooh Shiesty. So you get Pooh Shiesty, and whatever Pooh Shiesty do from there, Pooh Shiesty do. You knew Pooh was Shiesty. So when Shiesty do a Shiesty move, now you want to sit on your couch, sit in your nice fancy car, you paying your bills on every month with your phone in your hand on your dashboard and talk foolery? All Gucci Man got to do is say, yo, I'm a civilian. If anyone touch me, I'm telling. By him not telling us that, that's telling me that Gucci Man never told Pooh Shiesty that. That's why Poochie did what y'all said as far as calling it crashing out. No, he went out and handled his business on the street level because he thought he was dealing with a street man that y'all now calling a businessman because he had a Draco put in his face. If you're from the street, you get caught slipping, that's it. You kept, y'all, Gucci Man, you caught people slipping too coming up. And they didn't go to the police on you, or because they bag was a certain figure that they had a right or not right to go to the police. Is this what you're telling me? This shit is filthy. And then y'all watching this trying to justify this. Pooh Shiesty's in jail based on the criminal complaint that said that RD, a.k.a. Roderick Davis, said that it was Pooh Shiesty behind the mask that pulled the Draco on him. You don't need no paperwork. That is the paperwork. That paperwork is so powerful, it's keeping Pooh Shiesty in prison. So stop saying, oh, Gucci Man didn't tell. Oh, he might not go to this and that. He told to the PD, police department, if he go against that, they can get him on perjury in the state. And as you see, Gucci not trying to go to jail. So let's stop the games. Gucci's with them now. Y'all just want to hold on to Gucci. Gucci gone, dog. Don't y'all understand that? Gucci gone. Goo-wop is gone. I'm saying it for him because he ain't man enough to say it. Say it, Gucci. Are you still with the street or are you gone? If you gone, stop the foolishness, stop the diss tracks. Pooh Shiesty in jail, you know he can't make a diss track response, so you had no damn business doing a diss track. That was the violation on the street level. You from the street. I'll never disrespect you. I respect your gangster. But this, I don't respect. And I'm talking to you as an OG, so take it how you want to take it. Your gangster's official. I seen Big Dead go up there and say that you didn't really off the dude, and this one said you didn't off the dude. I don't care about none of that. What I know of Gucci, what I seen is you bout it. And that's what you presented to Pooh Shiesty, and now Pooh Shiesty, they all are up. Let me play my intro. Keep it going. So that's where we at. Yo, rest in peace to my brother Rudy Williams that I know. He was out here and alive to see this, and I spoke to him, and that turned his stomach. Yo, listen, man, when we got picked up, let me explain to you how the street work. When you on the street and you bout it, you know you're leading by example. Because you know you took that extra step to say that you bout it, so you lead by example. Straight example. That means you get caught, you shut the F up, and you don't bring your comrades in. And you do your time as a man, and you come out and you get welcomed as a man, but being welcomed as a man don't mean nobody giving you the bag. They don't owe you the bag. If they feel a way, they give you the bag. I had a brother pull up on me the other day, man, named Aaron. I'm going to say his name, from Harlem, but in Colorado, he dealing with a rapper named XO. Big shout out to XO. But Aaron is so real, so you understand. I don't know this brother. He over a decade younger than me. He saw me on YouTube. He liked what I gave him. He liked the way I kicked it. So he turned around, and from him doing that, he come see me, and I run into him at the tavern on 8th Avenue, and he said, man, I ain't got nothing but my credit cards on me, but next time I see you, I got $2 grand for you. He called me the other day, that was 4 months ago, and said, yo, I got that, I want to put that in your hand. I totally forgot about it. I texted him back and said, got what? And he said, the $2 grand. And I went and met up with him with, the homie, and I don't want to get into who was with us, but we went, and I videotaped it. I'm getting ready to put it on my Instagram, and I might put it on the shorts over here. But that's when dudes recognize, and that's how we pay homage. I don't know him. He don't know me, and he gave me $2 grand. Because he been watching me. He know my history from Harlem. He know my story. He know my struggle. And he's in a position that he could do it, and he gave back. And then when you say, oh, hit the Cash App, they say, oh, he's begging. He's begging. Well, you wait when the Europeans do it on their YouTube channels and on their mainstream, because PBS be having a fundraiser every year. And let's not forget Jerry Lewis. But a black man says, send me a Cash App and all hell break loose. You tell me, is that crazy or what? Like, where does that come from? Make sure you subscribe to my daughter YouTube channel, Juanita Mecca Audio, my man, Real Boss TTTV. But, that's where we got that they making a big thing about it, and I can't understand it. I seen a video. I'm gonna play it. I talked a little longer than I wanted to talk because I was in my zone. You understand? But I'm gonna play a video that I saw with Whack 100 speaking. I hear the bullshit crap that they say. Whack don't like New Yorkers. Whack this and that against New Yorkers. I spoke to Whack a couple of times with a couple of different people, and he probably didn't know who I was, you know, how to feel me out because everybody been acting one way, but he dealing with a real gangster. What he said on Vlad TV was 100. So I want to play this joint. I want to give, you know, Whack his flowers. Everything he said was 100, but I'm going to break it down and add into it a little bit more and take it a little deeper. But Whack 100 was 100. And whoever don't like me, you know what it is. Let's keep it going. All right, let me get to Whack real quick, man. I want to get to Whack because this joint right here, I think was crazy fire. All right, here we go. Let's ride.
And I met Pooh one time in Simi Valley. I went out there and he seen, you know, I could tell he was with it, but even then he was, you know, he had $300,000 cash in a duffel bag with some house slippers.
Well, how'd you know he had 300,000 cash?
He showed it to me.
He showed you 300,000 cash.
One dude with him. I said, yo, bro, how you get to the airport? He said, shit, we slid through, bro. We had some clothes on the top, we slid through. This was in Simi Valley. I was there with, he was doing a song with somebody, was E1 was involved or whatever. And I told him, I said, yo, bro, you shouldn't be moving like that. They could take that for one. Two, you out here in LA, you got house slippers. You know what I'm saying? I said, a lot of these people on these sets, you know, they be tied to things. But I could see it in his eyes that he was kind of.
Hold on. We're going to hold on to what he see in his eye. But let me break that down so you understand. I done been there, done that, and this what it is, right? Even from back then, me and my brother Peter, rest in peace, a.k.a. Khalif, right? We used to go through the airport with $250,000 like it was nothing. That's where you just check it, like he said, put the clothes on it and slide it through. That's when you in the trenches and you don't know no better. You ain't worried about it. If they take it, they take it. Because you know if they stop you, they're going to tell you, yo, could I get the money? You know, you want to come with the money. 99% of the times, that's how it was. I'm just keeping it 100. I'm on man time today. Copy your joint at Unique Mecca Audio. Hit me up at my phone number. Let me show the phone number, right? Hit me up on the phone number if you're trying to get the man time hat. But on some man time, we went through that joint. We didn't care if they took the money. You know, like what they going to do? They going to lock me up. They going to keep it. They not going to keep it. And now they're in a position to show where they got it. Back then, we wasn't in a position to show where we got it. So if they stopped us, they took it. Like I said, I like to take a ride. All right. Now, check. I hate Mercedes-Benz with a passion. My first $1 million I got, I was moving it from point A to point B. My man just sold me a charcoal gray Mercedes-Benz 300E with hammers on it, charcoal gray interior. I'm right now Broadway where I copped it. I went down 45th Street, went down 8th Avenue that y'all call Frederick Douglass Boulevard now, went straight down to 140 4th Street, 4th Street, made the left and made the right on Bradhurst and made the right in the garage. And I took the $1 million out the other car and I'm getting ready to move it to the next spot. And as I'm riding down 8th Avenue, I get towards like 7th Avenue and Drew Hamilton, like 143rd, 144th, and 7th. And the police pulls me over with their little sirens and everything. So I know I ain't got nothing in the car. They got $1 million. What they gonna do with $1 million? So the man pulled me over and the man seen the money in the truck and he said, yo, this is what we gonna do, bro. I can take the money downtown with me or I can take you with the money. And at this time, he don't know me. He ain't asking for no ID. He ain't asking for nothing. He just telling me, let me take the money or you come with the money. I said, man, take the money, the title in the glove box. Get that. You know what I mean? And he got that. You know, about 2 weeks later, he popped up at Mecca Audio and said he wanted 10 grand, you know, a month to make sure that my crew, all right, that's another story because we ride. But the moral of the story is him going through the airport with that everything wax saying is 100 from where I'm at now at 62. But when I was in the trenches, I knew I couldn't go to jail for that money. So if I can't go to jail for that money, I don't care about it. They can take it, hold it up, and I'll figure out how to get it back later. That was my mentality. You know, now I got to find somebody that got income, that got a job and property to go down there and say that it was their money. They get my money back. So it's not like you couldn't get it back. So I'm just giving you all the real how it went. You just had to find somebody to show that, you know, they had that. And then they say they gave it to you to take from point A to point B. And they have to give it back to you. So it's not no big deal to go to the airport with $250,000. I did that with $500,000. You know what I mean? And when I went through, I just hit a $5,000 stack, you know what I mean? And, you know, slid it to the, you know, the person at the counter that's looking at when the bag go through and they stop it, right? This is how we did it, because we ride. You know, we're going to get back to Wack in a minute. Hold up, because Wack get his problem. When the bag go through and they see something and they stop it, they usually run it back and they ask you, what is it? When they ask what is it, you just slide them a $5,000 stack under, you know, a handkerchief or something. You know, they see that, they look down, they look at the bag, they look at it, they say, okay, and they clear it. And they take that $5, put it under the counter and keep working. 5 minutes later, they take that, go in the bathroom. They say, thank you, Lord. And that's how it was in the airport. 9/11 changed everything, but I'm just letting you know that I can see where Pooh Shiesty's at. He ain't caring about that little money, man. But let's see what Wack got to say.
Kind of like, I'm not calling, I don't want to call him a crash dummy. He was Malcolm before the Nation of Islam got a hold of it.
See, right there, right? What he's saying, that Pooh Shiesty was about it. There was plenty of other black men in Harlem and throughout the United States and major cities, suburbs, and so on and so on that was about it, that was willing to stand for something in the way they was raised, that you stand for what you believe in, and no matter what, you go all out, and nobody can stop you or get in your way. And if they do, you demolish them, you execute them, you eliminate them. And that's the way it is. And that's the look that he's saying he saw in Pooh Shiesty's eyes. But he's not the only one that got it. The brothers that went with him that we not talking about, that we don't know about, they the same way. He's not a one of a kind. He's just a major rapper. But there's a whole bunch of Pooh Shiesties out there. He took some Pooh Shiesties with him, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But let's get back to Wack, because we ride.
He was a soldier with no direction.
Exactly.
Had a warrior mentality.
I agree with that.
Bro, you sat in the feds for 3.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you come up with the ankle monitor on. Bro, he has no control of his team, because I'm hearing he told them, don't do that. If he would have kept it isolated in that room with Gucci, it wouldn't be as bad today.
Right, because...
Hey, yo, stop it. This is what happened, right? We're going to keep it 100. Yeah, first of all, Wack right, but when Gucci looking at it is, and his team looking at it is, we hungry. You got to lick a dude violated you. We going to violate him. We going to rob him. We going to take everything. That was their mentality when they went in. Pooh Shiesty was about the contract. Let's get that straight. But once everything played out, Pooh Shiesty was in a position to say, stop. This is about the contract. Because him with them, he's playing on their level, where he should have been on the business level, and his daddy definitely should have kicked in and said, hold up, y'all stop. We ain't thinking about they jewels. We ain't here to violate them. We here to get this contract signed, and that's it. But Pooh Shiesty couldn't tell him that, because he's one of them. His mentality is he's coming up. So they said they wanted to come up. So he allowed them to come up. And that's when Gucci Man said that Pooh Shiesty daddy looked back at him when he looked at him and gave him the look. And it was like, yo, there's nothing I could do, because, yeah, it's out of control. It's out of control because you've been your son's friend, his homie. If you was his father, you would have always have that final voice for your child. If you don't have that final voice for your child, you have no respect from your child. You have no loyalty, no love, no comprehension of who you are as the parent. So Pooh Shiesty's father, yeah, he could have stopped it. Pooh Shiesty, he could have, but he looked at it from where they at, because he's where they at. He's just coming out of jail. To them, it's a come up. Pooh Shiesty understand they looking at it as a come up, but he should have got out that mentality and looked at it like, whoa, stop. What's going on here? Somebody tell me if I'm right or wrong, man. Put in the comments. I know you rat bastards and flip-flop wearing and public trolls always got something to say. And that's why I'm going to give you 3 seconds to get that off my channel. All right. And take that with you on the way out. Let's get back to whack, because we ride.
You know, 1090 Jake pointed this out. If his goal was to change the contract, why did he then rob Gucci and then let all his guys rob everyone outside?
Rob and assault and all this.
Nothing makes sense to me in that situation. It just seems like a crash out. If the plan was to get him to sign a piece of paper, why are you taking his earrings off his ears? Why are you taking his wedding ring? Why are you taking his watch?
They were choking him out. One of them was threatening to kill the other guy if he kept moving. Like this has turned into the worst possible situation.
Vlad, listen, bro. Listen. This is what I'm saying. So once you did, if he'd have kept it in there, then that's a different thing. But now when you took it there, you know, at that point in time, people like whack. You know, this ain't right. This ain't the ways of the streets. I don't believe Gucci went there to do street business. And I keep telling people, hey, bro, people change, people evolve. You know what I mean? You can't expect a person to deal with something today that maybe he would have dealt with 10, 15 years ago differently.
All right, stop. I'm gonna run that back, right? I'm gonna have to clarify that, right? They talking about how they went up in there and they wound up robbing them for the jewels, and they didn't go there for that. They went for the contract. They're 100% right. Both of them is right. Even though Vlad is not from the street, Vlad is right as well. Because they went there to get the contract signed. But bottom line, like I just said earlier, Pooh Shiesty hungry. Pooh Shiesty still had the mentality of a wolf from Memphis on the street. That's why when Hernandez Govan get up here and talk, I listen to him. Like I said, I love to interview him because he's straight. Yo, the best, listen, man. I don't care what y'all say, the rumors, whatever. I don't know none of that. I won't get into that. I just use the topics to give my, wisdom. But Hernandez Govan is a straight man from Memphis that represent and would die for Memphis. He's still alive. Y'all see him on YouTube. You look for things to pick at. You know what I mean? But from man to man, that's a man. Period. I don't know his history because y'all going to put in the comments, he told this, he did that. I don't know nothing about none of that. What I seen is that man go to trial. He held his own, and I seen him cry tears when he won. Because that's what we do. We're still human at the end of the day. And then you get these bloggers, oh, he cried. You mother, right, he cried. I would cry. Nobody's saying it is tough, emotionless, this and that. Come on, dog. But bottom line is, the way this thing went down, they wound up robbing them for the jewelry, allegedly, because they was hungry. They came to get a lick. The lick was to rob Gucci Man. In their mind, the lick was not to get a contract signed. That wasn't fully understood to them. Because if that wasn't understood to them, then they would know that you coming to do this, you got lifetime money with me. You got lifetime points in this with me. They didn't know that they had points in it. Maybe the points wasn't offered. But you take a man to get you out of a multi-million-dollar contract, 5, 6 dudes go with you. That means that they got to even get 1 point. They ain't got to get no more than one. They can live happily ever after with one for getting a contract signed. Nobody thought of that, right? They thought that what they was getting is what they got, which was the alleged watch and ring. And they gonna sell that and they gonna make their money that way, and they about their business, and they represented their homie because they didn't do it for $1. They did it from the heart. They did it from the principle of the thing because they violated their man principle. And their man felt it was worth going to war. So they went to war with him. Do anybody understand the words that coming out of my mouth? I'm talking something else. Y'all better share this video, man. But before y'all do that, make sure you subscribe to my daughter YouTube channel at Unique Mecca Audio, my man Real Boss TV. She's trying to figure it out. She do motivational speaking. I started off with the gangster stuff. I'm trying to tell my daughter, y'all put in the comments, I can show it to my daughter. I'm telling my daughter, I got you 4,000 subscribers in less than 30 days. Got you monetized. You made $1,500 your first month. And then here you go now, you want to do motivational speaking. You can't just switch. They came to hear the street shit. Give them the street strap, and then you give them your motivational intake on that. Somebody put in the comments so I can show this to my daughter. I'm tired of her sitting here wasting her time like that. Because her motivational speaking is excellent. But no one is going to go to it on YouTube because you got to get in what they call the algorithm. So if anybody need help with the YouTube, feel free to call me about that too. But you know everything costs $1. The game to be sold, not told. So don't call for nothing with your empty palms out. Because my palms need to be greased too. But anyway, let's get back to whack, because we ride. All right.
You just can't. And now that's on you. You know, you was a bad judgment of character. You know what I mean? Some situations, I tell people, I've told people this, hey, look, bro, that's not that serious. And we're dealing with this certain individual. If you're not going to go all the way, you think you're going to pop up over here, get to drop, and 5 of y'all beat him up and let him live. By the time you get home, somebody real close to you going to get touched. And it's not that serious to unalive him, so leave it alone. Like, you have to be a great judgment of character and know who you're dealing with. Vlad.
Okay, Wack, let me ask you a question. Was you thinking that way 20 years ago? All right, then. You know, because you 100% right. And everything he's saying is right, but I don't want y'all to feel like you need to chastise the youth because they don't know what we know at our age today. Because when we was their age, we didn't give a crap either. And you know it, Wack. That's why you got the rep you got. So keep that in mind when you talk to the youth, that we know emphatically everything you're saying is 100% right with no ands, ifs, or buts. But they don't know it. You got to figure out a way to let them know, you know what I mean, that you understand they don't know it. Because you're talking like they supposed to know it, where you're really talking to us at our age and our mind state to know it's dead wrong. But at 24, just coming out of jail, so he went in at what, 21, 22, Pooh shiesty. So now he come out and he lifting weights and he making songs, sending out pictures, and he's still thinking he Pooh shiesty. He never sat down to find his government personality. So he come home with the same thing. He getting a problem with Gucci Man. Gucci Man told me he was a gangster. He took it to me as a gangster. But if Gucci Man would have told me that if anything happened, I'm going to the police, I guarantee you that Pooh shiesty would have never pulled the gun on him. If Pooh shiesty knew that Gucci Man was going to go to the police, he would have never went that route. Y'all put it in the comments. Y'all let me know that. That's a good one. Put it in the comments. You think if Pooh shiesty knew that Gucci Man was going to go to the police, if he would have still did that? And that lets you know if he's a crash out. If you feel he would have still did that, then that means he's a damn crash out. But if he had enough common sense to know that if this man go to think this what it is, then that's what it is. Am I right or am I wrong? Somebody tell me something. All right, we ride. Let's get back to whack.
Once we start building and you start to understand whack, you knew exactly who you were dealing with.
Exactly.
Get what I'm saying? Okay, I know this dude now is a friend, to a point that if Wack see me in public, Vlad, last time I saw you in Miami, I kept him on you. Soon as I looked at your wrist, hey, y'all too, stay on him. You ain't say, you ain't asked me nothing. I didn't tell you nothing.
I have my own security though, by the way.
That's great. God damn it.
Just so people know.
Listen, no. The whole
I wasn't slipping that day.
The whole building was full of security.
Right.
But when I see Vlad, I just saw Vlad. I didn't see the people I'm used to seeing with you. My man got the Richard on the wrist.
Right.
So automatically, right, whatever with me is with you. Hey, yo, y'all stay on Vlad, right? I don't know what people be thinking. You get what I'm saying? So it's like you got to know who you're dealing with, bro. You can't, just because you are living this imaginary New Jack City, American me, American gangster thing in your head. Music is supposed to be entertainment. Because if these artists was really doing what they said they was doing in real life, they incriminating themselves. And I will say this era artist versus the old era artists, Ice Cube would tell you he started this gangster shit. Never seen a substation. He meaning the style of gangster rap, kind of like a street reporter on what goes on, not to say he's doing it. The artists today, they're really doing what they talking about.
And that's what we're going to leave it off at. See, that's what it's all about, you know. They doing it, and they have social media to make them become famous, being that the record label is taking too long. They'd rather be social media famous and post that they did a hit at 4 o'clock on whatever street. You know, this is where we at right now. And this is what we're trying to prevent over here at Unique Mecca Audio. So we're not taking Pooh Shiesty's side. From a street point of view, I am taking this side. But from where I'm at today at 62 years old, Pooh Shiesty is a crash dummy. That's what you call a crash dummy. But for somebody 26 that don't have that guidance, making a move of that magnitude against someone that told him that he was from the street, then he was handling his business. If you agree or disagree, y'all put in the comments. I'm about to be out of here. All right. Subscribe, Unique Mecca Audio. You know what it is. Subscribe, hit that like button, hit the notification button, keep it going. You know what it is. We keep it moving, all right? Hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know, keep it moving, let's keep it moving. All right, so that's what it is. Y'all put in the comments. I waited to the end to all this end to see if y'all watch this all the way to the end of the little outro. If y'all want to hear me finish the rest of this, y'all put in the comments, let me know. Give me an emoji. That's it. If y'all want me to finish this. All right? We out of here. Let's get this thing moving, man. All right? Y'all good? Because I'm good. All right?